explorers sending back startling data to Earth. The Explorer 1, NASA's farthest voyaged space apparatus, keeps on visiting across revealed regions of the universe almost 50 years after its send-off. Researchers are puzzled by the startling information that this popular space test is sending back to Earth. What gives off an impression of being a glitch is being broken down as we examine the curious records that Explorer 1 has been sending back to Earth during its space investigation excursion. Researchers have been engaged with cutting-edge examinations of about the universe's past since the Big Bang, which propelled the arrival of Explorer 1 and Explorer 2 among other space missions. Explorer 2 was, in fact, the first rocket to send off, leaving from the NASA Kennedy Space Center on August 21, 1977. On September 5th of that very year, Explorer 1 was sent off about 14 days after the fact. The two tests weigh around 720 pounds, comparable to a little vehicle. They were delivered during a window of remarkable outer planet arrangements that caused a slingshot impact to send off the space apparatus from one planet to another. They, however, expected to go at different rates and on various directions. On December 15, 1977, Explorer 1 had the option to sidestep its indistinguishable twin, and from that point forward, it has been our go-to test for information about various infinite secrets. The first space apparatus to achieve this was Explorer 1. When it started its Jovian imaging project in 1978, it was around 265 million kilometers from Earth and sent an enormous number of pictures back to us. Explorer 1 finished a great 108-hour stretch beginning in January 1979, during which it captured 3,750 photos of Jupiter's rotation, making a time-lapse film showing the planet turn. It had gone through the Jovian moon system in February 1979, and after a month, it found the faint rings surrounding Jupiter. Explorer 1 likewise made a novel discovery when it recognized new moons named Thebe and Matisse. Exact moves were made to guarantee that the rocket was ready for its flyby of Saturn and to forestall a potential impact with Titan, one of Saturn's moons. Explorer 1 additionally found 4 different moons during its orbit around Saturn, including Mimas, Enceladus, Tethys, and Dione. Researchers chose to end the Explorer planetary mission after the Saturn mission was finished and sent both Explorer 1 and Explorer 2 out of our planetary group at a speed of 325 million miles each year. In January 1990, the new mission, formerly known as the Explorer Interstellar Mission, started. The most renowned pictures and records portraying the planetary group and the planets were taken by Explorer 1 on February 14, 1990, when it was 6 billion kilometers from the Sun. The pictures, known as the Nearby Planet Group Family Representation, included 60 absolute pictures taken by Explorer 1, bringing the aggregate number of pictures taken by the rocket to 600,170. Despite the fact that Mercury and Mars were not apparent in the pictures due to multiple factors, the rocket's cameras were turned down to moderate energy and memory before its excursion into interstellar space. Notwithstanding the interstellar tests Explorer 1 and Explorer 2, NASA likewise operates the Pioneer 10, Pioneer 11, and New Horizons space apparatus. Before Explorer 1 passed Pioneer 10 on February 17, 1998, Pioneer 10 was the farthest shuttle. Explorer 1 continued its excursion for another 14 years before it at last showed up in the interstellar climate on August 25, 2012, with not a single other space test to be seen to find. However, NASA didn't openly report the achievement until 2013. By November 2018, each space test had formally left the Nearby Planet Group, while Explorer 2 crossed the heliopause and entered the interstellar medium. Explorer 1 is accepted to be 14.5 billion miles from Earth. It has proceeded to give indispensable information that no other space test missions have had the option to uncover. Since it entered the neglected region past our Nearby Planet Group, the rocket has burned through the majority of its 45-year venture in space in great shape. However, as of late, experts have recognized a few unusual peculiarities in its exhibition. Explorer 1 is at present communicating confounding signs back to Earth, giving the feeling that its remote is unsure. There is a concerning turn to the issue. Despite the fact that researchers have pre-programmed Explorer 1 to enter protected mode or sound a caution if it gets derailed in space, it has not done so. Its radio wire, which sends information back to Earth, has all the earmarks of being in superb working order, but the information it has as of late been communicating is dubious. The interstellar Voyager is working, taking orders from Earth and conveying them out, as well as gathering and sending logical information. However, readouts from the test's articulation and control framework don't precisely reflect what's going on inside. As per NASA authorities, each rocket set out toward interstellar space, including Explorer 1 and 2, has an exceptional 12-inch diameter gold-plated plate stacked with sound and video messages as a reinforcement in the event that an outsider species finds the spacecraft. The plate contains 35 Earth sounds, 115 pictures, an hour and a half of Western music, and good tidings from former U.S. President Jimmy Carter and former UN Secretary General Kurt Waldheim, recorded in 55 languages. Assuming it were taken over by outsiders, they could endeavor to interpret the signals. That the rocket is currently under the course of outsiders has been immediately excused by researchers. Explorer's capacity to work depends intensely on its disposition and attitude control framework. It continually keeps its radio wire focused on the planet so researchers can actually get information. It also controls how the rocket is arranged. Engineers watching out for the circumstance presently accept that the framework is filling in as it should, which just adds to the riddle we as of now face. Furthermore, none of the security highlights intended to safeguard the space apparatus from risk have been initiated. Susan Dodd, project director for Explorer 1, says a secret like this is normal at this phase of the Explorer mission. The rocket is around 45 years old, which is a lot more established than was imagined in the mission plan. Dodd recognizes that the Space Apparatus Engineering Group will confront some critical difficulties in settling the issue with Explorer 1 given the distance among us and the space test. The challenges are impressive, with the rocket being around 14.5 billion miles from Earth. This immense distance presents a few difficulties that the group should explore cautiously. A salvage activity is almost incomprehensible given the current innovative and strategic imperatives. Explorer 1 is far past the range of any space apparatus or fixed project that we could practically send. The shuttle's phenomenal venture has brought it into the furthest districts of our planetary group and then some, into interstellar space where it keeps on voyaging farther from us. Each day, messages sent from Earth take almost 21 hours to arrive at Explorer 1's current area. Any order or guidance sent by the designing group requires a full 42 hours to be gotten by the space apparatus, including the time it takes for the reaction to get back to Earth. This defer represents a colossal test for constant critical thinking and investigating. Once Explorer 1 gets an order, any reaction or data it sends back to Earth will require an additional 21 hours. This actually intends that two-way correspondence among Earth and the rocket takes a normal of 2 days. Such a postpone makes it very challenging to carry out handy solutions or iterative investigating procedures, which are pivotal while managing complex specialized issues. The designing group should fastidiously plan and execute each order, expecting different possibilities and potential results. Not at all like missions nearer to Earth, where engineers can quickly send and receive directions. The extensive correspondence delay requires a more vital methodology. Each order should be painstakingly created to address known issues without causing extra issues, considering the significant time frame it will take to confirm whether the order had the ideal impact. The huge correspondence delay additionally implies that the designing group has restricted chances to connect with the shuttle. Each order sent should be successful and exact, leaving nearly no space for mistakes. This requires careful testing and approval of orders on Earth before they are sent to Explorer 1. Also, considering difficulties, the space apparatus itself is more than 40 years old, sent off in 1977. The innovation ready progressed at that time is considered obsolete by present-day norms. The designing group must work with frameworks and structures planned and worked in the 1970s, adding one more layer of intricacy to the critical thinking process. The brutal climate of space likewise causes significant damage on the rocket's frameworks. Explorer 1 has been presented to cosmic radiation, outrageous temperatures, and micrometeoroids for north of 45 years. These elements contribute to mileage and debasement of its parts, making it much more testing to keep up with and match. In spite of these obstacles, the designing group stays devoted to settling the recent concerns. They are investigating different speculations about what may be causing the peculiarities and testing likely arrangements through reproductions on Earth. This cautious, deliberate approach is vital given the stakes involved. Any wrong order could possibly demolish what is going on or lead to a deficiency of correspondence with the shuttle. The group is likewise utilizing the overt repetitiveness incorporated into Explorer 1's frameworks. Like many space missions, Explorer 1 was planned with reinforcement frameworks to upgrade its versatility to disappointments. The designing group might change to these reinforcement frameworks to re-establish customary tasks if they establish that a specific part is failing. In Rundown, while the difficulties of diagnosing and